It's time to ditch boring workouts. In today's session, I've got tried and tested Pilates, weights and cardio power exercises. It's how I train, and in this session, I'm going to just give you some ideas of ways that you can create your own circuits so you can take these for free from me and pop them into your next gym workout. I'm going to get started with a lunge, and this is a sequence I would frequently use at the top of my Pilates classes. And to come into your lunge, I want you to start with your feet around hips width apart. We're going to take a big step back, and I always say to people, this is a lunge. You don't have to add the up and down, but we'll start with our lunge. This is training that I would do, so I'm going to have my hips nicely open, hands down by my sides. I might add some resistance training to this, but for my warm-up set, probably not. And I come into my lunge and I'm going to step back. And I come forwards into my lunge and I step back. And it's always good to have this forwards and backwards movement as part of my training. So I come forwards into my lunge and back, and forwards and back. And as I do this lunge, I'm going to come forwards into my lunge. I'm going to add a little twist. So I come back. So I step forwards, lunge, twist into my front foot. Lunge, twist, and come back. Lunge, twist. So I'm pushing off that front foot. I might add a small weight to this, but not to start off with. And then up to standing. So I might do 8 or 10 repetitions of that exercise. And then for my Pilates element, I might add a roll down. So I'm thinking about opening up the back of the body, always thinking about those pairings. So we roll down in towards the floor, head and shoulders down, and then up to standing. So I've done that work for my legs, that power work, come into that roll down to open up through my back, and then slowly up to standing. And I could even take that into a roll down to walk out into a plank as well, and that's something that I might do. And then as my transition exercise, because I like to have an exercise that brings my workouts together, I might have a kick, so a front kick, and it's nice and strong. So I'm pulling up through the back leg, and I try and feel I'm strong through my hips, and we come up in front, and then the same thing on the other side. So I've got a little transition exercise in addition to my strength conditioning and Pilates. A bit more power, still using my quadriceps, still using my core, and I'm putting those 3 exercises together. So let's now move on to exercises 3 and 4. And for this, I'm going to need a little bit of resistance. So I have my kettlebell, and I'm going to take a squat. So my feet nice and wide. I'm going to choose a goblet squat this time. So I come down into my squat and up to standing. So we're in and lift. Slowly down, drive to the top. Slowly down, drive to the top. So whole body work in here. I've got this extra resistance. That's going to help me keep nicely upright. And actually, this is a nice version of your squat to do. Let's say you get to the gym and it's really busy there and you can't get to the squat rack. Use their kettlebell instead. It's going to give you a slightly different workout. You're going to have to use your core a little bit more. It's a great version of the exercise to do. And for my transition exercise, given I have the kettlebell, I can add a fairly short kettlebell swing, still using my legs, my core, but I'm not focusing on taking that too high because I want this to be more cardiovascular than anything else. If I had a heavier kettlebell, I might slow it down and focus on a bigger range of movement, but squeezing through your glutes. Now we're going to buddy the squat up with our shoulder bridge. From the mat, we come into our bridge. Now, one way of progressing this is to add a leg lift. But actually what I quite like to do, particularly as the squat tends to be a bit more heavy on the quads, I want us to feel that we step the feet away, hold the bridge, step the feet back in, and then down to the mat. So we lift up, step out, hold, step in, down. You could add some weights to the hips, so some people like to do that as a way of increasing the strength on this, but I like, as my little Pilates exercise, to just focus on that movement out, a little bit more hamstring heavy, back in, and then down to the floor. And then we're going to put 3 exercises together now, which are much more about the upper body, shoulders and back. So let's say we start with your plank. We're going to come to hands and knees. We hover, the feet come out and away. You've got your lovely plank position, space between your ears and your shoulders. And for your second exercise, you could come into your side plank here, and you can add the hips down and up and lower and lift. The way I like to do it is actually bring it all up on my toes. So I'm here, find the plank, and we come up to the side. Hands and toes up to the side. Hands and toes up to the side. Hands and toes up to the side. So we're just looking at ways of mixing it up and also just easing your movement around the gym, right? You don't want to be launching yourself from one side of the gym to the other with different bits of equipment. So it's nice to have that little circuit that you can do that's quite smooth. So we also want your row. That's the third exercise. So I'm back to my kettlebell. I'm going to come down, eyes down to the floor, and we add that row. Down and lift. Down and lift. If you wanted to, you could have your hand on a chair or off the back of a bench, but it's really nice to feel you get that full range, that nice long back coming into that row. Another way of doing this, whilst I'm giving you some ideas, is to have both hands, we squeeze the arms back and we come down and lift up. So don't go as heavy on these. I mean, go more than 2, which is what I've got at the moment. But think about having 5s or 6s for those rows. So there you have it, just some ideas to get you started mixing up your Pilates with your resistance training. Don't be afraid to give things a try. If you found this was quite helpful in terms of giving you some ideas for those exercises, let me know. If you want me to create, there were no push-ups in there today, shocker. So feel free to pop those in after you've done those roll downs. But yeah, let me know how you get on, and I look forward to joining you for the next session.